creaking footsteps walking by, an invisible hand brushes up against you. Now, these are some of the claims that people who have worked at the Clay Plaza in the past have made. Now, are these stories true, or are they just the result of overactive imaginations? Well, that's what the Henry County Ghost Hunters were here to find out. And they weren't disappointed. While Andy was investigating the lower part of the building, his brother Albert and his team were in stealth mode, investigating in what once was the balcony of the theater. It didn't take long before unusual activity started to occur around them.
And we were saying, Mr. Clay, if you're here, make a noise. And then at first I started hearing some stuff just right behind me here, kind of where those chairs are almost. And then, did everybody hear that on the stairs? Y'all heard that?
We were in what we call stealth mode, where everybody's quiet. There was one point where I was calling out on the name of the past owner of the property. And at that point, me and about 4 other researchers began to hear footsteps up and down the stairs going up to the projection booth.
There was a creaking on the stairs. Like 1 or 2 steps.
Well, we hear these footsteps coming toward us. Well, I'm standing right next to the door, and I think it's dark, so I think Jose's come through the door because something brushed the back of me.
The footsteps came right up to the doorway and then kept moving past us, and there was nobody there. We had our little flashlights. There was nobody there, and then we heard it start up the staircase.
When you hear things like that, you instantly you freeze a little bit, heighten your hearing, trying to figure out exactly where that noise is coming from.
It's so odd. You don't expect it. You know, we were walking around, nothing had happened. You know, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. We were getting tired, and you know, in your head you're expecting, like I was expecting Jose to come walking down the hall, and he wasn't there. It wasn't until after I'm looking at him and he's looking at me and he goes, "You heard that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that." He said, "Well, it touched me."
Is anybody here?
The boys that used to run the projector in the projector room said that so many times they would feel somebody standing in the projector room or hear someone walking. And so we've all thought that since he was so directed and focused, and I would say bullheaded, that if anyone could make themselves known after they had died, that it would be him.
This is kind of creepy, man.
Places that they can pretty much be left alone. Hello?
This is one of the 2 entrances. You had to come through the projection booth to get to the penthouse, and then there's another way from the back.
The cameraman and myself were sitting up in the open area, which used to be the seating for the movie theater. And one of our investigators was downstairs. And as we were sitting there, we just out of the blue heard the door start rattling. I mean, and to the point that I thought somebody was at the door and was locked out. I got up and walked over to the door and opened the door, and there was nobody there. And I mean, it was literally like somebody was, you know, shaking the door almost violently.
Was that door just knocking, or was that me? This door was making noise though. Because it sounded to me like the door was locked, like somebody was trying to get in. It was doing, that's exactly what it was just doing.
Were you doing that down there?
But I know I didn't touch nothing because it was right down there.
That's where kind of the fun of this job comes in, is in trying to investigate and research how that could have happened in order to disprove that, because that's our stand that we take, is we want to try to disprove and exclude all other possibilities before we say that it could be something paranormal.
Look, there's so many cockroaches in here.
We went to the roof. The freelance paranormal team went to the roof. And we were up there for about an hour, walking around, just taking pictures and just checking everything out. And we didn't see anything. We had flashlights, we looked all over the roof and everything. We went to the edge and we heard this scratching noise. And Shannon looks down and she notices there's a few roaches at her feet.
I saw one and I'm keeping my eye on it, and I had my flashlight, and then over here there's 3 more. And then over there behind me, you know, because now I'm starting to look for them, behind me there's like 5 more.
Within 15 minutes there were thousands of them all over the rooftop. Then Albert from the Henry County Ghost Hunters come up and said, we got to leave because they were all downstairs. We went downstairs, they were all over the walls, the ceiling, the floor. They just come out everywhere.
We got into this one small little office with paneling, and Dan shines his flashlight on the wall. The wall was crawling. This wasn't normal, you know. I've seen other places that were, you know, abandoned or infested, and this went way beyond that. And so we made it out of the building, and when we did, they were running across the sidewalks. I'd never seen anything like that. And then we went back in to get our equipment a little bit later, and nothing.
They come out to let us know that, you know, they didn't want us up there.
Over the years, paranormal investigators have been looking for ways to communicate with the dead and searching for clues to how the dead communicate with the living. Researchers have found certain locations more receptive to paranormal activity than others.
I do think it's possible that whenever you get into a facility like a movie theater or a pub or a bowling alley or something like that, that it's very feasible, if there were to be activity, that it could be found still resonating in a place like that.
I would say Clay Plaza, from the things that we've been able to see, if there's any type of activity, is more of a residual haunting.
Yeah, I think that these people that had these big lives, and I just can't absolutely say that couldn't happen or that wouldn't happen. And the fact that so many people have observed things or sounds or whatnot, that there might be some folks that still love McDonough so much that they're still hanging around.
E.P. Clay's world revolved around the art of movies and sharing it with others. And that world that he built still exists today as a reminder. So if you're ever in the area, come visit the Clay Plaza. And while you're there, say hello to Mr. Clay. He may even let you know that he's still around. Thanks for watching Discovering Henry. We'll see you next time.